Hello there. The first of the unboxings that I promised you. Now I'll start with this one because my buddy Beckus seems interested in this one. This is Sovereign of the Seas. It's by Compass Games, and it's the war at sea around the world from 1756 to 1805. Mainly the British, the French, the Spanish. There's some Dutch as well, I think. Yes, there's Dutch as well. I think there's a bit of Russian involvement as well too. Beautiful cover. That's HMS Temeraire, a ship of the line appearing out the smoke and mist. Very evocative of the period. Now, before we actually look at the contents, I've got the map out. Can I back a bit? Zoom out a bit, I don't know. Yeah, there's the full map. It's quite big. It shows all the whales. I will zoom in a little bit. In fact, I'll do that now. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in where it's a bit busy. There. What can you see? Right. What you can see there is the part with the Europe and Britain. The anchors are ports, and on the anchors there's a little arrow to say which direction you go to get to the port box. And there, if I just move these across, are there. There's the British ports, and these ports run all, what we'll do if I've got the camera right, they run all the way. There's a point tracker there, all the way around the perimeter of the globe. There's the eras that we're fighting, the battles in this game, and then we're back to the ports again, back round to the British ports. Right. The game is obviously, the map is divided into areas. They're all named. Some of them are light blue, and the ones that are light blue usually have, what can you see? Yes, you can see that. They have a points value. For instance, Iberian Basin's 3, the Bay of Biscay is 6, the North Sea is 9. Ships can move around on this. It is a squadron game. There's no single ship, there's no independent commands. It's squadrons, and squadrons combine together to make fleets. Ships can move as and where they want, or squadrons rather can move, but a squadron has to have a leader, an admiral of some type, otherwise they have to stay in port. They can move around the map, and as you can see, if you go off at the top right, if you go off on the Northeast Pacific Basin, up there, obviously it's not a flat earth. That might come as a shock to some, but you know, it's not. And you'd reappear there in the Northeast Pacific Basin, and it's the same for the rest of them. Some of the, let me show you some of the. It's awkward with that bloody tripod. I haven't got much room. In these ports, for instance, Minorca, you can see it's got a rating of 2. That means it can hold two squadrons, and it can also do 2 points of damage repair every turn. And you'll notice at the bottom there's flags. So for the first period, first battles from 1756 to 1763, Minorca is under British control. But in the second set of battles from 1778 to 1783, it's actually under Spanish control, and then it reverts to British control for the third session of battles. There's other little bits and pieces on. I won't show you that yet. There's the ship counters, shows you enlarge, what everything does, and the name of the ship, attack, defence. The scenario availability, that's at the top. So this ship, Chatham, is only available for the first scenarios. That's the 1756 to 1762. After that, it goes away. And then you've got the attack and defence. You've got the gun rating, number of guns, etc. And it's the same down there. Where there's that little flag on the French one, it means there's another counter. This one was pre-revolution, when it was Royal France. And there'll be another counter with the same ship, but it'll be revolutionary France with the more standard tricolour that we know. On the backs of the counters there's the France Royal, France Revolutionary, Royal Navy at the top, Spain, the Netherlands and Russia. And that's on the back of all the counters because normally, obviously with a two-player game, there would be a lot of hidden movement. The ships would be hidden from view of your opponent. Now, let's have a quick look. There's two very diminutive little dice. I mean, you didn't go overboard with these. Very lightweight, well, they do their job, I suppose. They're functional, but they could come up with something a little bit better. But never mind. It is what it is. They do give you a couple of player aid cards, which are good. It's always good to see too. And this gives you some various things like sequence of play. It's not a complicated game. In fact, the designer says it is simple. It's designed that way for simplicity, and you'll see that when we get to the battle part of it. But it's double-sided. There's all sorts of bits and pieces on there to help you out. So it's you could actually play with one of these cards once you've read through the rules. Now we come to the next part, which are these. Get the camera so you can see. I always go the wrong damn way. Right. Empire ship and leader pools. So this is for the French, the Dutch and the Spanish. So you've got ship pools, leader pools. You'll put your leaders in each of these for each of the nations and your ship pool for that particular scenario. On the back of these, each one of them has a different painting, and they're actually gorgeous. I mean, you could frame them. They look lovely. So you've got that. You've obviously got the same thing for the British ship leader pools and the Russian. And again, if we turn it over, there is another lovely piece of artwork. I think that British ship's might be in a spot of bother. But he's still bloody firing, isn't he? You never know when they're beaten. Right, and now we come to the fleet composition displays. Now, as I said before, it's in squadrons. So we've got the Channel Squadron. They're divided into a number of stacks. You've got to have at least, I believe, 2 ships. Is it 2 ships and a leader in a squadron? I think that's what it was. But you can have a number of stacks with the Channel Squadron, and there are markers to do each of these squadrons. So there's 6 squadrons for the British. Each would, and obviously the ship counters will be placed the other way up, so you can only see the flag, so your opponent doesn't know what you're placing in what squadrons. Again, on the back there is another piece of artwork. Stunning, absolutely stunning artwork. And then you've got another one for the French, both Royal French and Revolutionary France. The same thing again with the stacks. Another piece of artwork. Got to show you these because they're so nice. Perhaps move it across a bit so you can see it properly. They're so nice, they really are. And they've gone to an extra mile to do that. There's no, they could have left it a plain white background, but but no, they put some on. And finally, we've got the Dutch Spanish fleet composition. Well, we've got 2 at the top for the Dutch and 4 for the Spanish. And again, we'll have a look at the back. And another superb piece of artwork. Right, I'll put them to one side now. The counters, I'll try and get these in. It's always difficult looking through this little viewfinder. I'm not quite sure how clear it is you can see. I'm hoping, I don't want to make it blurred. Right, so each of the counters, they're not rounded, but they look as if they'll punch out. Well, they do punch out easy because there was some falling out before. So you've got your ship counters. It tells you what period, i.e. the first period, first campaign, second campaign or third campaign. And it gives you, for instance, this is Admiral Hawke. He's a 3 rating, but he's only available for the first campaign between 1756 and 1762, and so on. British leaders. Then we've got control markers. You put them onto the map at the various places to show that you're controlling. Well, no, you put them on the ports, I think, around the edge, to show that you control them, Minorca, etc. You've got various things what you use in the game, like fight or avoid. The turn marker, victory point tracker thing there. You've got your channel fleets. What we looked at before on them cards, we've got a marker for each one for the six fleets, six squadrons. And if we move down, it's the same again. Now if I turn it over, you'll see the reverse. You'll see what I mean by they're just almost falling out. See up the top there, your opponent, all he's going to see is the white ensign, Nelson's cap. That's all he's going to see. Then we've got, right here, we've got some French commanders up the top, some Spanish, some Dutch and some Russian. Damage points, this is for in the battles. You put damage points next to the ships. It's the old war at sea system where you get however many what the ship's rating. If it's got an attack rating of 3, you roll 3 dice. If you score a 6, it's a hit. Score 2 6s, it's 2 hit. You put 2 damage on, etc. And if it's I think if it's a 5, it's disabled and it has to leave the fight. So very, very simple. But the designer says it's designed for simplicity and quickness. It's not designed for, you know, deep play. Again, more ship counters. They are nice. They are nice. These frigate effort things with no numbers on, they basically, you place them in a region on the map and it's as if they're searching for and causing damage to merchantmen. That's what they're doing. They're basically raiders, and the powers, because everybody's against Britain in this game. The victory point track is just for the British. All the other countries are trying to knock victory points off the British, where the British are trying to gain the victory points. Let's have a look here. Let's see what you can see. So some of these ships, you can see they're available for the, not in the first one, this one. This is Jupiter. It's not available in the first period, but it is in the second and third. She's a 74 gunner. There's a picture of her, a diagram of her, and she's got an attack rating of 3 and a defence rating of 3, just below Alcide. Same period, 74, but she's got an attack rating of 4 and 3. And there's different coloured numbers, which mean little bits and pieces. It's not no great shakes. And again, on the back, we've got the different nationality flags to keep what you've got there hidden. And so it goes on. There's 6 sheets of counters. There's 4 actual sheets of ships. These are mainly French, some more British at the top. And again, you're going to get a lot of British, as you would do at that time. Very nice. And the fact, if I'll just punch one, let's take this one out, see how easy it does punch, because I know some of them do. No, not that easy, just sticking at the corner, so it's going to need a little bit of, yeah, it's going to need a little bit of clipping, I think. You're going to have to be a bit careful with them counters, because they might tear, so that's something to bear in mind. They will come out, you know, they are moving, but you're going to have to be careful. You don't want to be tearing them. That's the thing. Right, so that's all the counters. Decent thick card. Decent thick card, so they're a good thickness. There's no problem there. But as I say, there's going to be some care needed when you take them out. Finally, we'll come to the rule book. Nice rule book in colour. Again, the Temeraire on the front. And as it says in the very introduction, Sovereign of the Seas is an uncomplicated war game centred on the naval aspects of the series of wars between England and the various European powers between 1756 and 1805 for dominance of the Wales Ocean. It depicts it as at strategic level, with most operational and tactical details represented by fast and easy to play systems rather than intricate mechanisms. And it certainly is. You know, you roll dice and every 6 is a hit, and you don't have to worry about, well, there is an advantage if you've got the wind, but other than that, it's just look at the dice, you know. We've got some descriptions of the map. Oh yeah, there's where you see that they have the predominant direction of the wind in that particular sector, so it slightly changes. So that'll affect if you get windward in a battle, but it doesn't give you a lot of advantage. And again, we've got the points values, the ports, etc. The backs of the ships, the victory counters, the various counters, the ships. Sequence of play, the usual stuff in any good rule book, and it's not a thick rule book. Leaders and assignment, there's Nelson, he's only available in the 3rd series of battles. He's a rating of 4, so obviously he's a decent admiral. And this is where we come to the fight in the battle. So you've got a British line at the bottom. In fact, they've got extra ships, so they've got a stack of 2 extra spares. And basically, you put them in a line, and you lob dice. And if you get 6s or a 5, you're causing damage, and battle's done and dusted. Probably in a couple of minutes, and then you move on to the rest of the game, because this is a strategic game. It's not about, well, it is about the ship's battles, because that's what the bloody thing is, but it doesn't concentrate on that. It doesn't bog you down in doing a battle if you don't want to. It's quick, easy. You get back to the strategy then, and then we go back into the various flow charts and things. And here's the scenario. So the 7 Years' War from 1756 to 62, you put control markers down where each player starts, which leaders, etc. Ships of the land, the English base forces, they get 15 units and 4 leaders. In other words, they get 15 ships of the line. New forces, that's base forces to start with. The new forces, then you roll a die to see what extra you get. And same with the French. A few little bits and pieces, specifics of the scenario, and then you move on to the Maritime War, 1778 to 1783. So the whole scenario, 7 years is in that little bit, that's in that little bit, and so on. So it's not exactly taxing. Optional roles, long voyages, weather on station, revolution, delayed repairs, because you can do repairs in this, fog of war, and basically that's it. Very simple, easy to understand, and if you want a fast play game with all the world at your fingertips, moving your fleets around all over the place, doing as you please, this is the game. And a minimal time spent fighting the sea battles with lots of complex rules. And I'm just looking to see where the hell I put my flying colours box, because I've got many bloody boxes down there. Let me just see if I put it next door. I might do. No, I haven't. I've put it somewhere, but oh, it's here behind me. Damn, I'd have got it out ready, didn't I? So, flying colours. This is what I would use. I'll use that map and the squadron boards, the etc, etc, etc. But this baby has got, that's got a lot of ships. I think, I don't know, 600 maybe not as many as that, maybe 300-400, I don't know. I didn't count it. When I go into this, nice, I'm sucking on this baby, right. But you've got all the different rule sets in here as well. But, you know, you've got every ship you can ever imagine in here to fight the battles and fight them as you want to fight them. You know, tracer counters, there's everything. So what I would probably do is I'd probably use these counters for this game instead of using their counters, which look as if they're going to be a pain in the bum to take out anyway. Simply use these counters on the squadron boards and fight the battles using flying colours or flying colours light, and do it that way. That's how I foresee doing this. You can, I'm a tinkerer. If you want to play the base game, it does as it says on the box. You know, it's quick, fast, fun to play. But if you want a little bit more depth, as I do for the battles, here we go with this. So, that's my review. I'll just get that out of shot because it's not a review of that at all. That's my quick review of Sovereign of the Seas by Compass Games. So, I hope you enjoyed that, and it's about as clear as mud, I suppose. But that's the first unboxing. I'll do some more over the coming days and weeks, so you can see other things that I bought. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Oh, before I go, I will continue that Commands and Colours Napoleonics series. I hadn't forgotten it. It got put to one side, but I will be coming back to that. The next one on that will be, the next episode will be the Prussians and the Austrians, the box sets for them. So I haven't forgot it. It is in the line, and I will get back to it. So anyway, thanks again for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.